Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So just before we get into this one, I've just got to let you know that this video is presented by EA Game Changers and thank you to them for making this video possible. So today we are doing a video finally with The Sims 4 Discover University. So I got my hands on the pack a few hours ago and this is my first build with it. Today we're going to go ahead and build a set of BRITECHESTER or BRITECHESTER, however you say it. I keep changing my ways how I say and pronounce that word for some reason. I don't know why. It's the same with Moschino. At first I said Moschino, now I say Moschino, even though that's the right way to say it. Anyway, I'm rambling already. BRITECHESTER Townhouses. So if you want to go ahead and download it for yourself, it isn't up just yet, but it will be up soon. And I'll come back here and leave a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download it there. But my origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and that will be uploaded to the gallery when the game actually comes out on November 15th at around 10 AM Pacific Standard Time. Now keep in mind I will be doing a few builds with the pack, and I won't be, just uploading every single one of my builds all at the exact same time. I will spread them out probably over a few hours, and if there's more than 3, I'll probably do 2 a day, and then I'll do the other one the next day. So just keep an eye out, just follow me on the gallery and you get a notification as well. That's another way as well, just keep an eye on them. So just before we talk a little bit more about the build, when I do these type of builds, sometimes there is new people that come to the channel, so I'll just introduce myself in case anybody's new today. So my name is Thomas, and my channel here is called Thomas TV, as you've probably seen from the channel name. But anyway, I do a range of different Sims 4 speed builds mainly on my channel. The primary thing that I do is mansion builds. Every Sunday I do a mansion build on my channel, even more when there's things like this where there's like a new pack coming out. I do even more of them, so stay tuned for that. There should be one coming up for my next build with a pack, so that should be tomorrow, so stay on the lookout for those. And then I also upload regularly. Now the schedule will be a little bit of a mess this week because of a new pack coming out, but normally it's a Wednesday, Friday and a Sunday that I upload. Like I said, Sundays is mansions, but on Wednesdays and Fridays I just do regular other speed builds. Sometimes it's different things. Fridays as well I might do a bonus mansion, so lots of different things, but mainly builds. So if you like builds, then consider subscribing. I do also have a giveaway going on right now as well for the Sims 4 Discover University expansion, so make sure you go ahead and enter that if you are looking to get the pack. You might as well go ahead and enter it and see what happens. So that closes on November 15th, I believe, at 10 AM Pacific Standard Time, but I won't talk too much about that. There's a very quick video up on the channel, and in that video you do enter it within the comment section, just how I do all my other giveaways. So just go ahead and check out that video. It's literally like a minute long if you want to find out how to enter it. So as I said, I was going to give you some info about the build. So this is 3 townhomes put together, and it's on a 30 by 20 lot in BRITECHESTER, and it has 6 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms in total. Now if you want to know how to actually use this in terms of like a functioning lot, then stay tuned for that, as I'll explain that in a few moments time. And it came in at 197,696,000. No, that just what? 197,696 simoleons. There we go. I got mixed up there for a second. I have been like literally recording all day for this pack, so excuse me if I kind of get a little bit mixed up in today's voiceover. Anyway, so that price may change very slightly because I've got to go back in and actually take the screenshots and also play test it. So I do actually have to, sometimes delete things or replace things, so the price may change ever so slightly. And also I noticed that I have actually missed out a column as well, which you probably won't notice, but because I'll change it before, I take the screenshots and stuff. But yeah, also notice, little things like that. So just because sometimes I do the voiceover before I've like fully edited the video, but by the time you say the video, you don't notice. It's just a kind of just a way I kind of do the process of making a video, I suppose. But anyway, so this build as well only took me like an hour and 10 minutes to do this. The reason it didn't take too long is, one, it was on a 30 by 20 lot, which is really small, and actually I did wish it was I did do this on a slightly bigger lot. I was going to do this in Foxbury because I'm pretty sure there's a 40 by 30 there, but it was actually in more of like a community kind of centered area, so it would like a little bit out of place, but it maybe would have had a little bit more room, and I was going to go for a slightly more modern theme as well, but then I thought I do actually have a modern theme build coming up as well with the pack, so I thought, you know what, for a change, I would do a kind of more traditional build for this one, and then the next one it'll be a more modern one, so you can kind of see both sides of build mode. So I thought that would be a better idea. So the lot size did, reduce the time a lot, and also as well, the kind of finishing isn't too complex. Now I will talk about kind of how I finished it in just a second, like in terms of personality personalities, because I did put some personality into the build, but not a whole lot. I didn't want to make it too specific, but there are some aspects here and there of that, which again I'll explain in a second. So, you know, with that meant the areas that do have a little bit more personality to them meant that, you know, there was some more decoration needed there, which, you know, needs more time spent on it. But for the majority of the place, there isn't that much clutter, that much decoration. I wanted things to be fairly simple, as if your Sims are just moving in, coming to university, so I didn't want things to be too over the top, if that makes sense, so that's why it didn't take too long. But I mean, builds don't really take too long anyways, which is great, and it's kind of just through experience as well. So if you wanted to know kind of my opinions about the pack, because as you know, I don't really do overview videos anymore about packs. I normally just put my thoughts into the first video that I do of a pack. Now, since I've only done this one video, and I haven't really actually looked at all the items within this build, I might not actually talk about all my opinions within this build. If I get time, I might talk about it shortly, but I might actually leave it until my next build, because that one's going to be a little bit bigger, and I might have some more time within the voiceover to talk about, instead of just rambling for the full video. I might actually talk about something useful, so I might just save that for then. So that should be coming up tomorrow. Around, well, actually, this should be going around 2 AM UK time. I know it's a weird time for the embargo this time around for this pack, I know, but so this, you should be seeing this around 2 AM UK time. So the next video should be around 5 PM UK time, so technically the same day, the 14th, but so just to kind of give you an idea. Anyway, so if I get onto it, I'll talk about my opinions in a minute, or maybe just some of them about what I've seen in this particular build, because as a builder as well, I don't really get to see everything. I'm not really that interested in Creator Sim. Well, to be honest, I'm not interested in Creator Sim at all. I might as well not, you know, lie. I don't look at Creator Sim ever, really. The only time I look at Creator Sim is when I go in to move a sim into my builds to take the screenshots, and even then I just click the gallery button to randomize a sim from the gallery, so I don't have to type in a name, and I can just get straight back into the build to take the screenshots and get it over and done with. I just don't have any interest in Creator Sim anymore, as I'm a builder now. And with gameplay, I don't really have the time to do that at the minute, because when a new pack's coming out, all I have time to do really is focus on the builds, as that's what I do for content, so that's what I'm focusing on. And then once it's kind of died down a little bit, I will then have some time to look at gameplay, and you know, so I don't really have any opinions on that, but as you know, that's kind of what I do anyways. I'll just give you opinions on build buy stuff. So yeah, anyways, I'm rambling again. So as I was saying, I did put some personalities into this build. Now, I didn't really go too overboard, maybe just some kind of hints as to, maybe say if you had like a sim that you didn't really know what degree you wanted them to do, and you had this house in mind, then maybe that could kind of give you some sort of direction, you know. So what I did do is actually made like an art studio. So maybe you have a sim that wants to go into the art degree, and I believe it's a fine art distinguished degree that is, but maybe, you know, they have an interest in art as well on the side as well, so you could do that, or just another way for them to make money as well, like as a freelance thing, you could do that. So that's where the garage is, because I don't know why, but I had this idea to have kind of townhouses and then a garage on either side, but then I kind of realised that this was a 30 by 20, not a 40 by 30. I don't know why I thought this was a 40 by 30 to begin with, but that idea didn't really work out that well, so I just managed to fit on one garage on the side, so that's what I did there. And then I did put some, you know, art equipment in there, and then I thought, you know what, it's kind of a lot of space just to put like some easels in, and I couldn't really think of what else to do, so I was like, you know what, let's put some other kind of random equipment in here. So I put some other gym equipment in, so there's an easel, no, that's not gym equipment, what? I'd put a treadmill in it, and also I put a like a, what do you call them, like the weight machines where like you sit on them, like the black and white things on base game. What is that machine called? As you can tell, I do not go to the gym, I cannot think what that machine's called. So I put one of those in, and I also put a bar in as well. Now, I was kind of thinking of a really, really random storyline as I was making this particular garage room, and that this particular kind of townhouse on the left hand side where the garage is a little bit more fancy than the other ones, and I was thinking that maybe like a really, well, maybe not really rich, but a more wealthy sim lives there who was going to university than the other university sims who live in the other two townhouses, and maybe like the other kind of sims that live in the other two townhouses kind of get really friendly with this particular sim living in the more nicer townhouse on the left hand side, just for the sake of getting more kind of nicer things in a way, like, you know, going to more parties because of the bar thing, using the more nicer facilities within the garage and things like that. So I feel like there maybe, you know, aren't the nicest people, those people living in the other townhouses, and kind of are fake friends with this particular person living on the townhouse on the left hand side. I know that's like a really random storyline, and I don't normally come up with storylines that in depth when I'm working on a build, and to think that I just came up with that storyline for a garage is totally random. So I don't know if you want to go with that storyline or not, but that's kind of what I thought about for that garage, so there you go. Anyway, so we're just working on a little bit more of the furniture now. I did end up going a little bit random in terms of the order I did this build in. So as you know, I did in my previous builds, like how I usually used to do them, is that I kind of used to go all over. So I'd be doing a bit of the exterior, then I'd start doing a bit of the interior, then go back to the exterior, and it would be a mess. Now, I know some people like that to keep it more interesting for the video, but I kind of realised how confusing it might get sometimes, especially for bigger builds. But for this kind of build, accidentally, I did end up kind of making it in a random order. So I did actually do the whole interior before I did the exterior furnishing and landscaping. So I'm really sorry if you did get a little bit confused about that. So you will see the rest of the exterior at the end, and I don't know why I did that. I kind of just not really forgot, but I think it was just because it's sort of like a different kind of style of build, even though it's sort of like similar in terms of finishing and of it being like a, you know, a house that I normally do, but I think just the structure of it in terms of being like 3 houses within one and kind of having to think about it a little bit differently, even though it is similar in some ways, I think it might have just, you know, made me think of it differently in some areas. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So this is another room here, and now this is the only other kind of more personalized area, I would say, and this is a room with somebody who's interested in robotics. Now, I know there isn't a specific robotics themed degree, it's just the club or the society or organization, whatever you want to call it. So that room here is specific to that, of that particular item there that I use, that really fancy desk, that is for the robotics. It's like specific for that, so that's what I put in there. Now, I wasn't too sure at first, like I was saying, I kept going like back and forwards in terms of what I wanted to do. Did I really want to go really personalised? What types of degrees did I want to make the rooms really specific for? And robotics wasn't one I had in mind, but I was just kind of scrolling through the items to see what specific things I could put in. And the gym equipment ones was also another thing I decided to add into the art studio in the garage, you know, being a garage multi-purpose room. So the robotics one, you know, just another kind of activity to do. And, you know, it's not specific to a degree, but it's another activity and just something for Sims to do. So that's really the only other personalised thing. So I know it's not, you know, crazy amount of stuff, but, you know, you can add things in, remove things, change things, you know, however you need to, once you download the home for yourself. And yes, that's pretty much it really in terms of personalisation. There are a few kind of colours in terms of bedrooms used. Now this one here is a very neutral one. Again, I wanted to keep things fairly neutral because I just wanted it to be very sort of plain, I guess. As boring as that sounds, that's kind of just what I want it to be, and just so your Sims can then move into your university housing and then personalise it to how you want it to be, as that's how it would be in real life. So that's what I did, but, you know, I thought it might be interesting to, you know, kind of include some colour here and there. So I think there's like a purple room, I think there's a blue one as well, so, you know, just differences here and there, so it's not completely neutral and plain throughout, but just the general idea of it is fairly neutral. So as I mentioned at the start about how you actually use this home as a townhouse. Now, if you don't know, and you might have heard this from other people's videos and stuff, but with the university housing, this is actually, so it's a little bit confusing. I kind of didn't really realise it at first, because it's actually a new venue type, this house. It's not a residential lot, this is actually a university housing. That's the lot type, that's the name of it. So when you download this home and your sim moves into it, there will be other roommates generated with it, and then you can actually assign them a bed, and then you can kind of lock the doors, and kind of do that which already had functionality, you know, within game. But this new kind of assignment of beds, and kind of the random generation of roommates kind of puts that functionality in for having like neighbours, and therefore, you know, having townhouses as well. So it's not like fully functional in a way, but it is definitely much more than what we're used to. I have done townhouses and kind of multiple homes on one lot type of builds before, and it's always been a shame that, you know, there are, you know, a bit of a different idea, but they're not really the most useful things, but now they actually are, which is really great. So you could go in and download some of my other multiple home and one lot builds from the gallery that I've already done in the past and put those into the game and see how they function. And also, like I said, this will be up in a few days time, well, tomorrow really, actually, yeah. I kind of didn't realise realised how close that was. So yeah, you can go ahead and try this out as well and see how it functions. I have had a little go myself. I haven't fully, like I was saying before, I haven't like fully play tested it yet, but you know, it's just a really interesting idea, and I'm really glad that they've kind of thought about this. And I don't know if it was intentional, kind of how you could also make townhouses and other kind of gameplay just from having Discover University and the university housing lot type, and how much other stuff it brings to the game as well, which is really great. I did also pause here for a second, and I forgot to cut this out. I think I was talking to my friend Yorkie about university stuff, because we're both recording at the same time and sharing the stuff that we're recording, because we're both game changers and we're kind of talking about stuff we're recording as we're going. Anyway, so this is just doing a few final touches here, as you can see. Now, I did actually have a few problems as I was going through this. Now, I know I haven't had time to talk about my opinions of the pack, which I'm going to talk more in detail in my next build, as we're about to head on the screenshots in a few seconds. But one thing I did notice is that the tiles, in terms of like how many tiles were on the windows, were a bit problematic, I found. Like 2 tiles instead of 1 tile made it a bit difficult in some areas. So I did have some trouble when it came to the window placement. So there were some areas where like I just didn't really want to put a window because it was going to be off center. So I was going to try Ivy because I had seen that, and it was actually going to be a debug menu item within the pack, not an actual object, which is a little bit disappointing because debug menu items aren't the most functional things. But I actually really love that Ivy that you just saw there from the debug menu that came with this pack. I just think it's really, really nice. But anyway, we've really run out of time here, so I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of this build. The build's coming up later today, or like at 5 PM, 6 PM, my usual upload time if you're familiar with that. When I'll have another build coming out, I will definitely be talking more about my opinions of the pack of build mode in general, and I'll definitely go in more detail since I didn't have time to talk about it today. But I do have a lot of positive things to talk about. I also have a few negative things, but really not a lot. I'm actually really impressed with build mode overall. So like I said, this will be up on the 15th at around 10 AM Pacific Standard Time on the gallery. My origin ID is Real Thomas TV1. Once again, thanks to the EA Game Changer Network for providing me with early access for this pack and making this video possible, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!